I still remember clearly my high school public speaking classes. In one of these classes, a would-be orator spoke out his lament. Sir, every time I speak in front of an audience, I get nervous. What shall I do? That's not a problem, said the teacher. Don't consider your audience as people. Consider them as a sack of potatoes and your problems. But sir, I get even more nervous if there are beautiful women around. That's not a problem either. Don't consider them as people. Consider them as a sack of sweet potatoes. Mr. Toastmaster, potatoes and sweet potatoes, aloha! Aloha! Who the heck is Don Prades?
He's a DTM. Potato.
You see, in our culture, let me start with my name. In our culture, Don means only three things and only three things. Number one, well educated. Number two, filthy rich. Number three, lots and lots of hot women. You see, I am just an ordinary Filipino. And as an ordinary Filipino, I speak several languages. I speak 4 languages in the Philippines. I speak a little Spanish. I speak a little English. And I speak a smattering of Latin. I have traveled extensively in Europe, in North America, and in Asia, including the far-flung islands of Micronesia, the U.S. Trust Territory of the Pacific, where I taught English and Spanish. And there was something unusual that happened. Surprisingly, there was a marriage proposal from the wealthiest family in the islands. The parents were getting old, and they wanted me to take over the multi-million-dollar enterprise in the islands. She was beautiful, a blend of 3 races, Japanese, Islander, and European. I lied to the parents. I said I was engaged in the Philippines and that I was going to get married when I got home. It was a feeling of déjà vu all over again. The reason why I was in the island in the first place was because I was running away from another marriage in the Philippines. She wanted to get married, but I had just graduated from the university, and she came from a very wealthy family, and I did not know that. And she said, there is no promise of marriage. I must as well go to the United States, finish my postgraduate studies. I was broken. I fled to the Pacific to lick my wounds. After the Pacific, I went to the University of Hawaii and started teaching English as a second language. I went back to the Philippines and taught for a year in my old school. And then I joined Procter & Gamble as a salesman. And soon I rose quickly from the ranks. After 5 years, I left as a unit manager and jumped to another company, pharmaceutical company, as a branch manager. And I was awarded as the best branch manager in the Philippines for 3 years. And then I jumped again. I went to Massey Ferguson as a sales manager. And then wanderlust seized my feet again. Saudi Arabia beckoned. I was with my first love, which is teaching. I was with the training department of Aramco. And quickly, Aramco sent me to Florida State University to have my master's degree. After Aramco, the family immigrated to Canada, and that was 20 years ago. You see, in my life, I have committed so many mistakes, big and small. And for these mistakes, I paid dearly. But I also learned a lot. I learned that in life, things don't always happen the way you want them to happen. It is not how many times you have fallen. It is what you are going to do about it. I also learned to be kind, to live simply, to love generously. These are the things that I have learned in my life. So for you, my dear Toastmasters, live your life fully. Try to inspire the others and make a difference in the lives of the other people. But put the rest in the hands of the Almighty. Don't be afraid. Consider life's challenges and obstacles as a sack of sweet potatoes, and everything is going to be okay. As you journey in the wilderness of life, I wish you love, joy, and peace. Mr. Toastmaster.